In February of 1924, Hitler and his Nazi members had assembled. Later that year, Hitler was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison. In May of 1924, the NSDAP, along with the Reichstag, held elections, winning a total of 24 seats. In December of the same year, the Reichstag lost half of the 24 seats they had won. On December 20th, Adolf Hitler was released from Landsberg prison after serving less than a year. Hitler, along with the Nazi members, calls for the NSDAP to become a political party and not a revolutionary group. On February 25th, President Ebert dies in office and is succeeded by Paul von Hindenburg. Paul von Hindenburg is leader above Hitler. On May 22nd, Hitler's power over the NSDAP is furthered when he is called Führer.
You aren't allowed here. You and your loose morals are ruining Germany.
But you can't keep us out. Jazz is taking over the country.
So promiscuous. How can you wear your short dresses and act so recklessly? Disgusting.
We want money. We want it now. No, you can't have any. We're struggling. Stop. This is not the way. We can't avoid our obligations or else more conflict will emerge. We must continue to pay reparations. Circumstances must get worse before they get better. We have to hang in there for the sake of preserving peace. We're not happy. I know, but that's just the way it is. In due time, we will eventually recover from this. 1924, Stresemann agrees to the DOS plan. Reparation payments were reduced. American banks gave loans to German industries. Productions doubled. Imports as well as exports increased. And finally, employment rose. In 1929, the Young Plan came into play. Reparations reduced from $6.6 billion to $2 billion. Germany was given 59 years to pay. Germany lowered their taxes, and extreme parties were still unhappy. Hitler was also unhappy.
The Locarno Pact was signed in Switzerland in October 1925. It was a series of treaties with Britain, France, Belgium, Italy, Poland, and Czechoslovakia, accepting Germany's western borders. All countries renounced the use of invasion and force unless for self-defense.
In September 1926, Germany joined the League of Nations, the international organization set up by the Treaty of Versailles. Germany was given great power status on the League Council with veto power. Germany was allowed not to participate in collective action against aggression if it was unrealistic, given the military limitations that had been imposed on the country by the Treaty of Versailles. Germany used its position to raise matters of German interest.
The Congress of Berlin was a meeting of leading statesmen of European great powers and Ottoman Empire in Berlin of 1978. This meeting was aimed to reorganize the countries of the Balkans. Signing the Treaty of the Balkans was the final act of the meeting. The Treaty of Berlin was the revised Treaty of San Stefano. It included the United Kingdom, Austria-Hungary, France, Germany, Italy, Russia, and the Ottoman Empire between June 13th and July 13th of 1878. San Stefano was a treaty between Russia and the Ottoman Empire.
The Treaty of Versailles states Germany has reparations to pay, and we need to settle the debt with the U.S.
Give them a chance to rebuild after the war. Don't step in and help.
We need to pay back the U.S., and we have no time to wait around. Okay, enough is enough. They missed their delivery. It's time to take control. At last, we have our goods. Let's get home and ship them to the U.S.
Now look what you've done. You've created a larger conflict. Inflation is among us.
In 1931, Weimar authorities discovered plans for a Nazi takeover in which Jews would be denied food and persons refusing to surrender their guns within 24 hours would be executed. They were written by Werner Best, a future Gestapo official. In reaction to such threats, the government authorized the registration of all firearms and the confiscation thereof if required for public safety. The Interior Minister warned that the records must not fall into the hands of any extremist group. In 1933, the ultimate extremist group, led by Adolf Hitler, seized power and used the records to identify, disarm, and attack political opponents and Jews. Constitutional rights were suspended and police revoked gun licenses of Social Democrats and others who were not politically reliable. During the 5 years of repression that followed, society was cleansed by the National Socialist regime. Undesirables were placed in camps where labor made them free, and normal rights of citizenship were taken from Jews. The Gestapo banned independent gun clubs and arrested their leaders. Gestapo counsel Werner Best issued a directive to the police forbidding issuance of firearm permits to Jews. In 1938, Hitler signed a new Gun Control Act. Now that many enemies of the state had been removed from society, some restrictions could be slightly liberalized, especially for Nazi Party members. But Jews were prohibited from working in the firearms industry. The German Jews were ordered to surrender all their weapons, and the police had the records on all of those who had registered them. Even those who gave up their weapons voluntarily were turned over to the Gestapo. And finally, in 1968, bills to register guns were debated, with opponents recalling the Nazi experience and supporters denying that the Nazis ever used registration records to confiscate guns. The bills were defeated, as every such proposal has been ever since, including recent universal background check bills.